Alright, hello there. This is going to be a channel called BlueJay Go. I've decided to start it up and see how it goes. It's going to be 1Q Go Play. I'm probably going to get an intro video going at some point or another, but just wanted to share some of my games with you guys. I'm trying to work my way up to 1 Dawn pretty soon here and kind of take it from there. I think this rank can be really interesting for some people, so let's go ahead and get started. The first video is going to be a review of a couple games that I played recently. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be white in this one. My name here is Moo. Props to whoever can let me know in the comments down below what that means. It's no fair if you look it up on Wikipedia. Okay. So we got black here. It's going to start out with a pretty standard opening, 4-4, 3-4, and then gonna go ahead and enclose. This game I was feeling like playing kind of territorially. I opened with 2, 3, 4 stones facing each other, and instead of doing an approach here, which would also be pretty normal, I suppose black could also consider some type of pincer to go into a large framework here, and then you know, maybe even keep it going a little bit. This is, you know, it's not impossible. White has solid territory on the top here, but wasn't quite what I was looking for. Instead, I was interested in trying to build my own area. I didn't want to get jealous right away. That's something I've been working on in my own play, so I decided to go for my own framework instead of get jealous of what black has already. So I made this sort of mini Chinese-esque move. I don't know if this has a name or not, but gave it a shot. Black approaches high, suggesting he's interested in building a large framework. Fourth line stones, as many of us know, are more influential as opposed to third line stones. So for example, if black had played a move on the third line here, you know, this is still a viable response, but you can see that black is looking to make territory on the top here. There's forcing moves in the future that white can use to keep black low and build white's own area, but instead black is looking to develop something for himself up in here. I was expecting a follow-up like this that sort of stays true to that. I think that black's move, not there, here on the third line is also viable, but it feels a little strange to me because it's still open here. I get to play this move later as a really nice endgame, and I don't see this really solidifying much. So it seems like black is a little bit split in what he's trying to do, but no worries there. I decided to take the opportunity to approach the 4-4 stone here, just to prevent black from getting an enclosure here with a nice extension already in place. Of course, I could continue to build my area, but that would allow a really nice enclosure for black's corner that makes this area pretty difficult to make a solid group in. So I decided to approach. Of course, if black backs off, white's happy to just make a strong group on the side here. That would limit the expansion from this large Shamari in the corner here, and it would be something that it's not going to turn into a liability for me. So that's possible, but I understand black's decision to pincer here, looking for more of development on the bottom and the right side here. So it's possible to jump into the corner here. Black can answer in 2 ways. This is like one Joseki, where white's enclosed in the corner. Black can also play this way. Oh, actually, AlphaGo says that this one's better. in many cases. I didn't really like either of these for white because this influence is really ideal in developing black's potential on the right side. And in the other variation that we went over, where white jumps into the corner and black blocks this way, let's pretend white does this one. How does it even go? That's not right. Maybe here, 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 here. That sounds right. So in both of these variations, white's contained, although white does get a few points of solid territory. Black's influence is ideal to develop the entire board. So instead I took the opportunity to come out here. Spoiler alert. I decided to jump. This jump sort of splits these two areas of blacks, and it allows white to sort of have a nose in on either side. And I'm planning to create a pincer against this stone here. Another possibility, well, let's see. Black's response here. Black responds high, creates an ideal relationship with the stone over here. Oh, let me turn coordinates on. That's going to be a common mistake, I'm sure. So black responds high here. We like high-low-high relationship in Go. It creates strength. For example, this invasion point becomes a little bit easier to get some sort of connection going with these stones, as opposed to attaching above or below on this stone here. It's a little bit more difficult. As well, black is claiming more territory here, or at least threatening to claim more territory. So one joseki is to play this move. It's a shoulder hit on top of this black stone. It's not very popular because it gives black territory on both sides. Black can also push here. And white can fix in a number of ways, I think. I tend to fix this cutting point, and then if black wants to come in and like try and cut this off, I can, instead of connecting that, I can jump into the 3-3 point here, and there's actually no way to kill this group for black. Yeah, that might even be sente. So white gets good shape on the outside and a living group in the corner. So that's possible, but I was interested in attacking the stone here in order to get more strength in this area, because I didn't want this to develop into a solid points for black. So I threatened to jump into the 3-3 point. Of course, black can make a base here right now, but my follow-up scoops out the corner and gives a certain life to this group here. So black understandably protects the 3-3 point, helping to secure these points up here. There's still invasion points like here and here that can cause trouble that black has to worry about later, maybe. But that's definitely not what I'm interested in right now. Now that I've made somewhat of a base for this group, or at least helped it to separate these two stones and make potential eye shape, I go for a pincer. Black chooses the strong disconnect. If black jumps, there's shenanigans with connecting this way. Maybe white can get this in sente first, and then black is surrounded and white is looks like there might still be a cutting point here, but white has a good shape on the outside at least. So black plays this move, which prevents any connection underneath, and at this point I've got two potentially weak groups here, so I have to be kind of careful because I don't want black to get a really nice move to cap or to pincer either side, because if black does that, black's going to get a lot of benefit by attacking my weak groups. So I have to be pretty careful here and use the weakness of these stones right here to strengthen myself on both sides. So oftentimes white will take this peep on this one space jump, threatening to push and cut. You can see that in this case, even if white gets to follow up, black's separating off these stones, and black's normal response to this peep is over here, which in this case is a nice shoulder hit on this group, kind of preventing me from making a clean getaway. So I didn't want to play from this side in this case, so I made a peep, which at least feels like helps these stones to get out a little bit. You know, if black plays a move over here now, now this stone here is going to help the fight in this area. So I got that exchange, and then I didn't want to just make a base here. Both of these felt too passive. I could, you know, if I get the 3 space extension, there's still this invasion point that's going to be severe against these stones, and then even if black just comes and calmly defends the corner, I sort of still want another move here, and then black can come over and play the surrounding move, which is still effective even with this follow-up move, or reinforcing move, I should say. So instead I use the Aji and this large Shamari to get some forcing moves with this attachment. This is saying if black wants to really be serious about attacking these stones, black is going to have to sacrifice something big in the corner. You know, I don't know how exactly it would go, but it would be a pretty big loss for black if black doesn't respond for the corner here as far as territory goes. So this is a really common sequence where white plays the Hane, which is the strongest move towards this side. Oftentimes black will take this Hane and then extend, which is in a way what I was playing for. I was considering a number of different follow-ups here. This one is the most proactive. You know, this is really ugly shape for black, but just to point out, there is this cutting point still that, you know, right now it's a ladder, but there can be Aji associated with that cutting point, like, I don't know, move like this, which threatens to connect underneath, that can unsettle this group. So maybe something, you know, the most timid or safe, secure move would be one of these two. You know, I would have taken it when I got there, but it's a different game. Black decided to connect here, and this is an attempt to maintain Sente in the area, because it seems also possible for white to play away in this situation and take the opportunity to come out with this group, because even though there are throw-ins, it feels like white would be able to manage in one way or another and get at least some of these stones out, and hopefully continue to pressure this black group. So instead of playing here again, I just took this as a Sente exchange, and these two stones actually still help in this area, which you'll see in a moment. So I take the opportunity to jump out with my other weak group, treating essentially all of these stones lightly. These ones are more important because they're pinching on the weak group here that black has. So I definitely would like to hold on to these guys. These ones are more interested in creating forcing moves to keep these stones alive and well. I debated between straight jump and the dog's face here. I chose the dog's face in the end because it seems to put more pressure on this weak black group, which is sort of the main focus of the game right now, is this attack. I think that the jump here is also possible. It puts a little more pressure. It threatens like this attach. It's unclear where this would end up, but it seemed like at the very least white can get good shape with some forcing moves. But you can see that there's a little bit less pressure on this black group over here. So, although now that I think about it, this could be called like a leaning attack, where you would lean on this side to get strength, and then attack from the other side. Maybe a cap in this case would be possible. So this also seems to look playable. Anyways, I chose the dog's face to put maximal pressure on this group, and black takes this cut. You'll see here I sacrificed this stone, and I treat these stones lightly again. It felt heavy to connect here. Black would get good shape, double honey, no problem. You know, if white doesn't think at all, this is really, it's not a very pretty outcome. The strength is very nice for black here, and it looks like white can't really get a good cut. I suppose there's this cut still, but attacking these white stones, black's going to have no trouble getting out. And now these white stones have fallen behind enemy lines, which is not something I'm interested in by any means. So instead of connecting, I decided to keep maximal pressure. I wonder how this cap looks at this stage. It feels a bit thin. Even just a cut right away. Yeah, maybe like a shoulder hit, because that threatens the ladder, right? But yeah, it's a tough fight. I think the cap would also be playable, but it's really hurting this group over here. So I opted to, since this group is feeling like it's got pretty good shape and a lot of space in this area, I opted to attack from these stones, keeping them healthy, more healthy. This seems like black's only move, jumping out to prevent a more severe surround. Right now black has no eyes, and really not much potential for eyes. So I'm still dealing with both these groups here, and I'm looking for forcing moves to strengthen them. This knight's move here is threatening a jump, which is separating this black group from this one, which not only severely damages the territory in this area, but could create a weak group or two. So black really doesn't want that, so this is quite forcing. Black responds this Ascente as well, because of the Atari, and it's not like black dies everywhere, but white is forever alive. It looks like maybe connecting is better. Hard to say, but white has really strong shape now, and black's territory has been reduced. And there's probably something more severe that white can do here. Oh, yeah, white can threaten to capture, and then come out. And that is much more severe because this is dead. Yeah, one thing I've heard a lot is that when you're streaming or doing YouTube videos, your reading gets worse. And I don't disagree quite yet. So anyways, I got both of these as forcing moves, which really makes some nice shape with these stones. And then I come back here. So this is a really nice point. Black would love to play here. This is a tiger mouth for black, which it really hurts the shape of this group. I could kind of get out of here, but it wouldn't be pretty. This is, yeah, it's a bit sad, and this corner is huge and it's perfect, well, peeped, but really nice potential and influence here. So I opted to prevent that by extending up here. Black goes for the cash, like he did with the Hane over here, which I'm not too mad about. I could play down here to get secure eye space. I don't think playing away is very good here because although I really would like to jump again, it feels like this Hane underneath is too good for black. It really completes the corner. This is a nice looking shape actually. This corner is pretty cool. You know, I think looking at it, it doesn't look so bad for white. White still seems fine here, and black is under more pressure. But it felt like I wanted a little bit more, so I went for this Atari instead, and if black connects, then I'll play away because it has the benefit of, it's not the move I would play, but now if black makes this Atari, I can at least counter Atari and connect, which gives me a little bit more eye space. The difference is subtle, but it feels significant. Black, I think it's quite good to play away here. The other option would be to start the ko, but I don't really see any reason for black to do that right now when black has a weak group to address. So I like black's move. Let's see. Yeah, black plays up here. And this is sort of dual purpose move at least in that it's helping the weak group here, and it's also looking at surrounding this white group, which although it has pretty good eye space, I can't see it ever dying, is still at risk of being surrounded. We talk about sector lines, which is you sort of look at an area where you're potentially surrounded, and this black stone has a sector line to this black stone, like the outermost black stones. So white is notably behind sector lines in this case. So white wants to play this move, which creates a nice large dog's face or wine bottle, whatever you want to call it, and also breaks right about on the sector line. However, I don't want to lose the initiative with my group over here. If black plays a move like this, yes, I have good shape, or even a move like this. Yes, I have good shape, but I feel like I can get pushed around, and black is starting to seal off some potential in this area. So I wanted to get both, and it turned out I could. This move doesn't do much, but it's not only is it good end game, it gets me some potential extra eye space if I need it, which it does end up helping later on. And then I come back with this move, which creates quite a nice shape for this group. I'm quite pleased that black didn't get much extra for his corner. It was already, you know, it wasn't secured points, but it only developed a little bit farther. So black feels a bit over concentrated in this corner, and I've created really nice shape and even gotten some points with this white group, and the shape in my white group up here is also quite nice and doesn't feel like I can be attacked very severely. So black plays this capping move. At this point, there seems like there's a few places that I could be looking. I consider just enclosing here. It's quite large, but again, I didn't want black to be sort of creating an area that spans, you know, half the board. It is the middle, so it should be easy to reduce something like this, but it didn't feel optimal, so I decided to point out the weakness in the large knight that he made. So this is a large knight, this is a large knight, large knight. A small knight is a move like this. Both large and small knights can be cut. You can imagine it. Well, let me just demonstrate with the game. I cut by attaching here and then cross-cutting. This is a really common fighting tactic when you're interested in separating two groups. Black responds strongly. I felt like he got a relatively good result. This move sort of induces me to capture the stone. It's not a ladder. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, so if black had come out here, I might have had to, wow, that looks really bad. Yeah, so I guess black and myself both considered this a capture when it really wasn't. Because I'm not sure. I wonder if I can connect here. That looks good. 3 liberties to 2. Or extend 4 liberties to 3. Okay. Yeah, so I suppose connecting captures these stones. So black cannot extend here. Black plays this crosscut, which is really nice because if I extend here to save this stone, then black can capture and everything falls apart. It's really bad. That's Sente, and this is probably a ladder. Yeah, or at least a ko. So that would have been really, really bad. So of course I capture, and then this brings up a ko situation. I didn't really feel like I had any really strong ko threats. I considered this one, but when black captures, it feels very Sente against this group, right? Even if I cut this off, there's probably still life in here somewhere, but it's not pretty. It's really, really ugly. Whoops. Yeah. So pretty much any ko threat I make, I felt like I would have to answer after black ignores. So I decided to just connect here and maintain the integrity of this group. And I knew it would be Sente because I have a nice follow-up from this stone. And I thought again for a while here. I thought about just jumping down maybe all the way to the 3rd line. It seems alright. I thought about 2-space extension here just to reduce the potential. I thought about this table, which this is the only potentially weak group left on the board, or so it seemed. And then I realized that this cutting stone wasn't really out of the game yet. This group still has the potential to be weak, and this group right here, well, yeah, anyways, this is my move. You can see that this group has now become isolated. We have really no eyes at all because this is a false eye, and this group still doesn't have any eyes. So pulling this stone out, I think, is really good timing. And at this point, even if I don't save this stones and like commit to them, I think that pulling him out and making him capture the whole thing is still valuable. So I settled on that. Black plays a very understandable jump, and this is not only getting white pretty severely behind enemy lines here, this white group, it's also, of course, pressuring these cutting stones. So I decide to commit to the group and I play this diagonal move, which I'm hoping is going to be Sente against these stones, which black agrees it is. I want Sente, and I could have played a move like this, but it feels kind of floppy and passive. It's not really doing much. I can't even surround this black group with another move. So, and furthermore, I'd be pushing black into my weak group. So I didn't want to push black towards my weakness, so instead I borrowed strength from this weak group over here, and then played some forcing moves, just like these two, to continue developing my shape in the area. I don't know about this response for black. I feel like something like this is much better. I was planning on just sacrificing that stone and then making shape over here. Maybe black was worried about those forcing moves. I'm not quite sure, but the result was definitely better for white in the game. This is definitely Sente, and then I got the same forcing move, which is threatening to cut this group and also reducing the eye shape. Black plays the bamboo. What I didn't want, and I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes, but I didn't want black to get this in Sente, threatening to capture those stones, or I didn't really want that in Sente either. I think both of these, well, I suppose black has to respond to that, but both of these felt like they would help one side or the other, and so I decided to take this Atari because I knew it would be Sente, because if I get to connect these stones out, that means I never have to worry about them, and any funny business that might have been left in this area is totally gone. I can play liberally in endgame. And furthermore, this group is still at risk. One way or another. So black did respond to that, and then yeah, I was wondering what to play in this area. I almost just came over here again, or tried like another diagonal or maybe a jump this time. And I've also been eyeing, at this point I've been eyeing this follow-up for a while, which is to continue putting pressure on surrounding this group while helping the integrity of the white stones up here. And so I ended up noticing that I could make a nice bamboo joint here in Sente, and then this cut point seemed like it had some funny business, so I played the cut to see how black would respond. It's sort of a probing move, and when black haunted here, I could have extended, and if black connected, I could have had this as a forcing move, and then maybe a follow-up like that. It's not totally clear, but it seems like really good exchange for white. These two stones for, they're still cutting points all over the place, but it's really nice influence towards this area, and it helps these stones as well. However, I noticed that I could do this Hane and push, and when I connect, it's starting to capture these stones, and this cutting point is relatively severe because it has the benefit that black can't Atari down, because my follow-up is Sente. Well, he can't capture. I suppose he could still do it. I don't know how it would go, but at the very least, white would get some points on the bottom. And so I cut, White jumps straight out. This is putting a lot of pressure on these stones now, which at this point I'm still okay giving up. I would like to continue the attack on this group for sure, but if it became necessary, I could sacrifice these stones for some strength in this area, for example. So I play these exchanges because they're a definite sente. This is the real game now. So to review, I push, black connect, I cut, black jumps out, white plays these sente exchanges, and then jumps out with the weak group. This is maintaining pressure on these stones, so black comes down with a table, nice table. I spend a second reading this move, and they seemed not very fruitful, so I came back over here to continue the attack on this group. And then I end up trying this one, which seemed to me like a sacrifice. It ends up being a sacrifice in sente, but it gave me really good shape, so I was okay with it. So what happens here is black plays this attachment on the inside in order to sacrifice this stone to get this move here to h2 in sente. So it's a pretty common sequence in this scenario. I capture the stone, black secures his group in these points. Black now has this nice area here and this nice area, so that's two nice areas, whereas white has, this one's not secured yet, there's still peeps and invasions, and there's only a few points secured from this group, really. However, I don't have any weak groups. This group is very strong and this group has become very strong. And black has this really, really weak stick right now that spans 2/3 of the board and still has no eyes. So I continue to follow up on that group. Knight's moves are good for surrounding, threatening to surround. Right now, this cutting point isn't very severe to me because both sides are alive, right? I mean, let's just say, I play severely like this. And this knight's move too, I'll just, well, in this case I don't need to sacrifice that stone, but even if I do, sorry. Well, that's not even a sacrifice, it just captures. But the point is, with the knight's moves, they can be cut, but when you're strong and you're attacking, they can be really effective. So I'm playing this knight's move to attack this group here. And there's also some possibility of making points in this area. So black makes another table, good table. Black's had a few good tables in this game. Make it two, this one and this one. Might have been a table over here somewhere, but anyways, I connect the beep, almost always connect the beep. This is the dog's face, pretty much the only move I can see in the situation. I feel like it could be possible to kill black here. It's not clear where to start, maybe try jumping. I'm not sure, but I decided not to go for the kill, and I played this knight's move, which was actually aiming to get points over here. And the reason for that is, as we'll see, another table. Black's all into the tables. And this time this cut is severe because this stone has ugly shape relative to this one, this elephant eye. So I Atari this way, and I have to connect because there's this cutting point. So I play the tiger's mouth. And black has this nice, it's both an elephant eye peep and a geta, or a net, on this white stone. And I'm alright with it because I sealed this wall up here, and I know that I have this follow-up move down here, which makes this really nice corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's basically a 5x6 corner. Well, 5x5 corner. So essentially give me 25 points. So remember, this was not many secured points, right? It was just these stones. but by using this stone as a sacrifice, I got strength along this side. And as you'll notice, my next move is this peep, which is threatening to cut off and kill both sides essentially, so it's a pretty effective peep. I wondered for a second about this peep, but it seems like bad form because white is so weak in this area, unless I had already followed up with this connection. But if I follow up now, then black slides and these turn into no points essentially, and there's even forcing moves for threatening to cut off these white stones. So I just played that as an exchange to make potential in this area and limit black, and then I can follow up over here. So black plays the push, which is natural. This cap on top seems like the only move, and then when black plays here, I'm really quite happy to just extend here. I wonder if connecting is better. I don't think so, because this black extend feels like maybe Sente for some Aji down there. Maybe at this point I can peep, and then, well, maybe I can even connect at this point. Well, anyways, that looks a little thin, and this was actually, this group still only has this one eye at this point, so this move sort of helps prevent black coming out towards this stone over here. So black goes to make eyes with this capture. With this capture, I think this might be Sente. Black might need to make this into an eye, because I don't think there's any eyes in this area, and there's definitely no eyes down here. I mean, let's see here. So black can play like this, and then peep, and then, well, you know, maybe there is an eye. That's Sente for sure. And then, like that. I guess there is an eye down there. Okay. Well, I get a lot of nice Sente, but it looks like that's not Sente for white. I guess I had a feeling it wasn't because I didn't play it. It also seemed like black could try and get out or something like that. But this is that really nice endgame I was waiting for. I was expecting another one of these. That same exchange that we had down there. I think that's probably better for black. It looks like better shape. She played this weird kick, which definitely, well, it might not be more points for white. My shape is definitely a little bit worse, but his shape is worse too. And he has this weakness of this stone potentially being cut, or at least atari'd. So for a while after this, I was looking for this combination, which gets a few extra points here. But also, black has the option of not responding, something like that. So I didn't do it right away. Black got Sente and took away the one that I maybe could have gotten in Sente earlier, which is good for him. I almost pushed here, but I was like, what if, you know, in the hopes that black enters here and then I get that in Sente. But what if black pushes? I thought this, and that looked okay, but not great. And then this. This obviously kills those black stones. So that. If I get this for free, well, maybe not. Yeah, black needs that eye. And then I kill those stones. So it looks like black couldn't push there, but anyways, I went here because I saw that this was Sente anyways. Sente because of Atari, and then capturing these two stones. So black responds, I get this, which maybe shouldn't be Sente. I think if I were black, I would play these exchanges. Maybe not that one actually, but something like that. Get some good Sente in, and then come back. Like I can't ignore any of those. But instead, I got Sente, so I took what would have been his free peep, and then I threatened to connect underneath. I'm kind of unclear about the best endgame in this type of situation, but I figure this creates a tiger's mouth if he pushes this way, so I should get Sente. It turned out that there was some funny business with the Atari and then cutting this group from this group, and actually I don't think either side is alive. This one's definitely dead. I could probably live with this side, but that's obviously too big. Let's see how Score Estimator puts it. I don't know why, but black ahead by 6.5. Yeah, so if black's only ahead by 6.5 after that capture, it's clear that white's doing well in this game. And I knew that too. I had counted, you know, approximately at this point, and this corner is quite large. This corner is really big. So how about this? So I usually like to approximate by like order of 5. So I go 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 24 points. Call it 25 in this corner. And then this one's like 3 by 5, so that's 15 plus 6, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So it looks like both these corners are like 25 points. So that's 50 right there. And then like 6, 7, 8, 9. Call it 10 if there's funny business with this capture. And then call this 5. That's 50, 65 points. And I have Comey, because we're both 1Q. Oh, he was a 1Q as well, by the way. I think. Maybe 1Q plus. I forget. But at least 1Q. And black has, again, it's really just 2 areas, right? White has 2 good areas and this territory that I got. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Call this 20. Call this 4, 5, 6, 9, 10 plus 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 26. Call it 30. So black has like 55. So I'm ahead by like 10 points before Comey, it seems, just from that counting. So I'm not going to risk any funny business. I just play this. I don't know if that's better or this is better. Really don't know. But it would be really nice if black played away here and white got this move because it's Sente. But of course, that would never happen. So maybe this isn't a good move. But the ending shape isn't, you know, it's not the worst. This push by black was slack. It wasn't Sente, right? Because I can do anything, and if black pushes, I just block. And all I really care about here is this connection, right? This is 2-point capture, 3-point capture maybe. And it felt like there was other stuff on the board. So yeah, I captured this go because, like, for example, if black had played this right now, this just became a gigantic ko, right? Let's say I lose this ko. Let's say I back off. And then, how are we doing now? Okay, white's still ahead by an impossible amount. But black got a significantly larger corner here. Okay. So anyways, I responded, and then did not play over here. I captured this ko. And ko threat. And I didn't want to deal with not winning this coast, so I just connected here. Again, I know I'm ahead, so there's no reason to get funny about it. Sente exchange. Yep, the rest of this is pretty straightforward. Just Sente exchanges. This felt a little bad, had to make an empty triangle. Don't make the shape most of the time, but sometimes it's good. In endgame, it can be good because it gets you that one extra point. Like, if I played a better shape, like, oh god, like this one or something, then this potential point is not a point, right? So, and also this potential point is not a point. In this case, I might get both of them. And then black protects the Atari, that's fine. This is Sente, because the follow-up kills these stones or these stones. And then I capture the Ko, get some exchanges, and that's about it. The rest was really straightforward. Oh yeah, this was the final like big mistake. I didn't know about this. Well, actually, I've seen this move before, but I didn't have it in my brain at the time of this endgame. So it would have been bigger than this to play that, right? Because that gets me 1, 2, 3, 4 points in this little area. And in the game, I got 1. So that was 3 points, this was 2 points. So it looks like I lost 1 point there. But the idea here is that I can't, obviously, capture these stones by blocking on the side. So that's a pretty good move by him. I guess that says something about this as an endgame move that I played earlier. I have to keep in mind there's this follow-up. So Sente, 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 and played that Ko for a bit. I just backed off, I think, and that was the game. At the end, I was up by 15.5 points, which was, like I said, from that counting, about 10 plus Komi. Looks like a little bit less, probably from little things here and there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that game. I think I'm gonna review one more in the next video though, so I'll go ahead and stop this one here. Hope you enjoyed. Again, this is going to be a channel called BlueJay Go. I am Jay, and hopefully we're going to make our way to 1 dan pretty soon here. Alright, thanks guys. I'll see you next time.